What is going on, Panthers Nation? Carolina Dad here. I had a question for myself that I thought I would put out here just to talk through, and that is, I think the success of Bryce Young and who he becomes is going to be make it or break it with whoever comes in as the coach, and plug in whoever you want. I had this feeling when Frank was here and when we were deciding on which quarterback we were going to take. Now, at that time, I thought, well, if they draft whoever they draft and they do really well, then the coach is going to be here. Things are going to be great. If they don't, coach is gone. Whoever this quarterback is going to be gone. Panned out a little bit differently, but not primarily because it was Bryce Young that was taken. Although, man, tell you what, hats off to CJ Stroud because he has looked great, performed all year, performing well in the playoffs. But I think next year is really the true litmus test, if we want to call it, for Bryce Young to see who he can be with hopefully a better set of receivers and a stable offensive line. So I'm not here to talk about that, but I am here to talk about the success and the make it or break it type situation that is on our hands. Bryce Young has a 4-year contract. He just completed year 1. That leaves 3 years left on the contract. There is an option for a 5th year, so if the team wanted to pick it up. But what you're seeing is a lot of these quarterbacks that are really good, the Herberts, the Burrows of the world, or even Lamar Jackson, getting extensions earlier and earlier, those $200 whatever million contracts. So you would think that over the next year or two, if we start to see Bryce playing really well, one, the coach is still going to be here, but Bryce is also going to be here and he'll likely get that extension. If we don't see Bryce playing well, there's no guarantee that he gets an extension, and there's no guarantee that we pick up the 5th year option. Because if you think about whoever comes in and it's taking over, Matt Rule got a 7-year contract. Frank Wright got a 4-year contract. Although Tepper has been impatient, I do think we're going to see a little bit of patience. I'm going to give a lot of patience. I don't know if Tepper will, but I do think whoever comes in, this is now back to square one, a 2 to 3, 4-year project. Hopefully sooner, but that's your timeline. And what's going to happen is, if we come in here, whoever takes over, like, I'm sure there's people that are going to be big fans of Bryce, and I'm sure there's fans or people that's not. What's different about this is, like, it's not like this coach, whoever it is, chose Bryce. Like, they're stuck with him now for the next whatever years. And so I feel like Bryce's success in this league is going to be tied to whoever comes in. Because at the end of that second, third year, really the third year, we'll start to have those conversations about an extension, or are they going to pick up the 5th year option? And at that point, if things aren't going in the direction that we want them to go, or that the Panthers want them to go with winning football, and you're seeing it, you could run into a Zach Wilson situation where you've got this guy that you're going to try to move. Hopefully someone picks him up, or you go out and you look and you get your veteran. It's such a short league in tenure for head coaches and average length of head coaches. I think Mike Tomlin is now the most active length of active head coach in the NFL right now, with like 17, 18 seasons, I believe. But outside of that, you can look across the league, even in the NFC South, and look at the turnover that's happened from all of these coaching changes, 2 to 3 years time frame. And so if things are not working out, this will be the break it for Bryce. And I want it to be the make it. I want him to make it because I want us to be successful. And I think that's going to happen, but it's something to keep in the back of your mind. And like I said, it's also not like this coach, whoever it is, came in and said, yeah, that's my quarterback. That's the guy I want. I'm coming to Carolina. I think it's part of the reason, if we were to think about Ben Johnson more, if I'm Ben Johnson and I'm reading these, unless I really, really like coming back to North Carolina, like the state of North Carolina where I'm from, and I like Bryce Young, they got to play against him and see him firsthand. Or am I like, you know what? I like what I'm seeing in Washington. I think they may go with Washington. But what I love to see, if we kind of start talking about some of these coaches, I think Ben's the hottest name right now. Slowick is right there behind him after the performance that the Houston Texans put on against the Browns in the playoffs. So I think over these next, hopefully, week or two, we're going to start to hear some names trickle in. I know one job's already been closed. But anyways, that's all I got, folks. This is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.